it brings us to the Zillenial movement and Zillenial question.
Yes.
That underpinning it is the tax burden they have to carry.
Yes.
For debts,
yes.
for example, that they are not privy to,
yes.
debts that have probably not helped them.
Yes.
So can you speak a little bit to this?
Yeah, so there's quite a lot going on in that context. And this has to do with the International Monetary Fund, the IMF in particular. It used to be so countries go to the IMF when they're in trouble. Yeah, when they have difficulties balancing their budgets, to say it plainly. And so Kenya has had a problem. It seems that our expenditures far exceed our revenues. So when you go to an entity such as the IMF and their lenders, they will not just give you money. There'll be conditionalities to the money. And so on one hand, they'll be telling government, please spend less, reduce your expenditure, but also you have a lot of debt. So you need to raise more money from your citizens through taxation. Raise more revenue so that you can sort out your debt. But so when the citizens now look at this, first of all, they say, when you are talking with the IMF, you did not consult us. There's something that the IMF now calls the medium-term revenue strategy, MTRS. This now is what has replaced what used to be called the structural adjustment programs. The MTRS is a program or a strategy in which the IMF is telling the country or giving the country a strategy for managing reducing expenditure and raising revenues. So you heard of the motor vehicle circulation tax?
Yes.
That is where it originates from. The first time I read about it was in the MTRS. And you know when the MTRS was put before Parliament? In March of this year. And you had people were asking very many questions about the motor vehicle circulation tax. So people were asking, what is the logic of this tax? How will it work? And when you get people from Treasury, like the principal secretary was on Citizen, he could not quite explain
where it's coming from,
or how it would be administered.
Yes, and how it fits in the larger logic of tax and taxation.
Yeah. So and they kept shifting goalposts. At some point, they say, it will be on the value of the vehicle. But what is the value of the vehicle? Does the value include the tax that I've already paid? Or then they'll say, there'll be a threshold. We will not levy this. It will be from, I think they set up an upper limit of 200,000 or something like that. And so it was not adding up. But above all, people were saying, but you've not consulted us in the making of the approval of the MTRS and the tax proposals that are based on it. So we reject it completely, and it's going to make our lives much more difficult. So what has then happened is that people, by asserting their Article 1 of the Constitution rights, are now saying that you must listen to us.